Good evening, this is TCN English News Edition and you're watching with me, Kim Kung Sai. First, the headlines. 3,483 violence hit farmers to get compensation in first phase, Manipur Chief Minister Biren Singh. Modi government implements citizenship law CAA weeks before Lok Sabha elections. News in detail. Manipur Chief Minister Biren Singh on Monday said 3,483 violence-hit farmers in the state have been selected for the first phase of compensatory crop package. During the launch of the program, Singh said in all 3,483 have been selected as beneficiaries after verifications by deputy commissioners. Another 2,399 have issues related with documents including other authentications and bank accounts and have been sent for re-verifications by DCs concerned. The center has also allotted rupees 38.60 crore for the affected farmers, out of which rupees 18.37 crore has been released for the first phase, Singh said. Churchandpur district has 1,137 affected farmers, followed by Bishnupur 1,031, Imphal East 360, and Kangpokpi 272, he added. The Narendra Modi government on Monday notified the rules for the Citizenship Amendment Act CAA, a move that came just days ahead of the enforcement of the Model Code of Conduct MCC before the upcoming Lok Sabha elections. The law seeks to provide citizenship to Hindus, Jains, Christians, Sikhs, Buddhists, and Parsis who came to India on or before December 31st, 2014, from Bangladesh, Pakistan, and Afghanistan. Union Home Minister Amit Shah took to social media site X and said that PM Modi had delivered on another commitment. The Modi government today notified the Citizenship Amendment Rules 2024. These rules will now enable minorities persecuted on religious grounds in Pakistan, Bangladesh, and Afghanistan to acquire citizenship in our nation. The notifications of the rules is set to pave the way for the migrants from neighboring countries to find citizenship in India. The CAA amends the Citizenship Act of 1955 to provide Indian citizenship to migrants from Afghanistan, Bangladesh, and Pakistan who belong to Hindu, Sikh, Jain, Parsi, Buddhist, and Christian communities and had entered India on or before December 31st, 2014, due to religious persecutions in their home countries. The CAA will help refugees from these neighboring countries who don't have documents. Indian citizenship will be granted to an immigrant who has lived in India in the last 1 year and at least 5 of the last 14 years. Earlier for the migrants, citizenship by naturalizations was 11 years. The law exempts the tribal areas of Assam, Meghalaya, Mizoram, and Tripura as included in the 6th schedule of the constitutions, including the tribal areas of Karbi Anglok in Assam, Garo Hills in Meghalaya, Chakma district in Mizoram, and tribal areas district in Tripura. The CAA was passed in December 2019 and subsequently got the president's assent, but there were protests in several parts of the country against it, with many opposition parties speaking out against the law, calling it discriminatory. The government had debunked such narratives and called the CAA law of the land that would be implemented. Speaking at a business summit last month, Amit Shah announced that the rules will be implemented before the Lok Sabha polls. Our Muslim brothers are being misled and instigated against the CAA. The CAA is only meant to give citizenship to those who came to India after facing persecutions in Pakistan, Afghanistan, and Bangladesh. It is not for snatching anyone's Indian citizenship, he has said.
दीदी एक सवाल था क्या राज्य में आप इंप्लीमेंट होने देंगे सीए क्योंकि इससे पहले भी आपने कहा कि बंगाल में लागू नहीं किया
पहले मेरे को रूल्स देखने दीजिए आई एम जस्ट वाचिंग द नोटिफिकेशन अभी नोटिफिकेशन नहीं निकाला रूल्स ने निकाला। रूल्स नोटिफिकेशन में अगर हम देखेंगे कि ये डिप्राइव कर रहा है लोगों का अधिकार को, तो हम उसको खिलाफ में लड़ेंगे।
The Kuki Students Organization's General Headquarters issues a press release that states, "It is rather amusing that embarrassing, incessant tirade and invectives against the Kukizo community, either by words or deeds, sees no sign of coming to an end. While the government of Manipur's proxy war, 10 months down the line, seems to go down in silence, the CM of Manipur woke up his radical groups and people in general by inciting and igniting once again his proxy war by indulging in hate speech against the Kukizo tribals." The press release further states that Biren Singh, in one of his speeches that had gone viral in all social media platforms, had termed the Kukis as monkeys. In another video, he proclaimed that "We are going to win this war. We are going to chase them out from our land." These are few of Biren's traces of all slangs and slurs under the sun. Recall that Biren, who is an ardent enthusiast of social media, had in his Facebook page called the Kukis junglies and refugees in response to one Kubzangam Haukip comment. The post that opens a floodgate of tirade and invectives against the Kukizo community, with the Métis branding them as refugees, illegal immigrants, and foreigners, which eventually ossified into his government policy, whose ultimate result is the present ethnic violence. Nevertheless, the centrist leaders need to rethink its effort to solve this proxy war through Biren Singh, as it is highly doubtful, without any iota of explanation, that with this type of creature, there will never be any possibility that the Kukis will trust or accept any table for peace negotiations or ceasefire or kneel down in front of government of Manipur. It should be known that the Kukis left out of no options have to stand firm and fight for their own survival, and any further escalations that occurs in the future, the government of Manipur, and in particular, Biren Singh, infamous CM of Manipur, has its own right to claim their responsibility. The unfolding events and circumstances we are in today is one giant existential threat to the Kukizo tribals. Homes have been lost, our schools failed too many, and our young students' precious careers precariously hanging by the thread, all because of the bigotry and indifference of this spiteful government. And each day brings further evidence of that hatred and unwelcoming foes. That we are in the midst of violence against a far-reaching network of violence and hatred perpetrated by the government of the majority Métis people is well understood. Yet there are some Judas Iscariot within the Kukizo community who has chosen to forget the violence that beset our people and still keep in contact with Biren Singh and his cohorts in pursuit of self-aggrandizement. This is serious, but knows this, they will be met and never forgiven. Therefore, if anyone is caught with enough evidence, they themselves will take its own responsibility for whatsoever action is taken upon. The public resolutions of July 15, 2023 calls us to have hope over fear, unity of purpose over discord, and forbid any communications with Biren government. In reaffirming this resolution is reaffirming the aspirations of the Kukizo tribals. So we should be mindful of the sacrifice borne by our fallen heroes and remain faithful to the ideals and true to the cherished vision of the Kukizo people for separations from the current dispensations, added the press release. On the other hand, the Mizo Zirlaipol MZP, Mizoram's largest students' apex body, held a meeting on Tuesday to discuss the Indian Citizenship Amendment rules. As per India Today Northeast, the meeting chaired by MZP President Aislal Tianklima claimed that there were illegalities in the recruitment of 3 zoologists, an urban animal husbandry and veterinary officer, a junior engineer, an assistant econ officer under the Aizawl Municipal Corporation's AMC, as the advertisements for the post were not issued in accordance with the law. The meeting also claimed that the state government approval was not obtained as the recruitments were not done as per MPSC or MSSB laws. MJP has requested AMC officials to rectify these irregularities before March 15. The body also approved the recruitment of qualified candidates for government jobs, not based on personal preferences. The Northeast Students Organizations NESO has strongly opposed the Citizenship Amendment Rules 2024 issued on March 11, 2024 and following other states. A copy of the rules was burned at MJP headquarters. The Supreme Court directed the Manipur government CBI and the NIA to file reports elaborating on the status of the probe and the changes and the charge sheets filed in cases of ethnic violence to help it take decisions on whether the trials can commence in Assam or be undertaken in Manipur. The top court meanwhile made it clear that it cannot issue directions to the state government and law enforcement agencies to maintain law and order in Manipur in the wake of a spat of violent incidents, armed protests, blocking of the highways, and the attack on the residence of a district collector in the last 2 months. As per India Today Northeast, these are the matters where this court cannot give directions. We cannot be issuing directions to the civil society organizations to maintain law and order. The state government is there to maintain law and order, say the bench comprising Chief Justice D.Y. Chandrachud and Justices J.B. Pardula and Manoj Mishra. It asks Attorney General R. Venkataramani, appearing for the state government and the probe agencies, to take instructions on a recent report of the Justice Gita Mittal Committee on the recent incidents of violence in the state. The apex court appointed 3-judge panel headed by Justice Mittal wanted the top court to pass some orders following the recent incidents of violence. The court asked the council, appearing for the panel, to provide a copy of the reports to the Attorney General to take instructions on the issue. The top court referred to communications received from a special judge in Guwahati, to whom the cases of violence in Manipur were transferred for monitoring the probe. The trial judge wanted a clarifications about whether he can proceed with the trial in the cases which was transferred from Manipur to Guwahati in pursuance of the top court's directions issued on August 25, 2023. The Assam court also wanted directions as to how it should proceed to deal with juvenile offenders. The updated status reports will be filed by the Manipur government, the NIA, and the CBI with regard to these investigations. The status reports will indicate the charge sheets filed as of now and the stage of investigations in other cases, the bench said. Let us have an idea. We will take a call on whether the trials should take place in Assam or in Manipur, the CJI said, and permitted the Manipur government also to file a response. Additional Solicitor General Aishwarya Bhatti, appearing for the Manipur government, said it wanted the trial to be held in the state as there was a marked improvement in the situation. We want to know whether the cases were ripe for the trial or not, the bench said, adding that a tabulated chart be filed on the status of cases. The top court ordered the listing of petitions on Manipur violence after 2 weeks. The top court had, on August 25 last year, ordered the transfer of several Manipur violence cases being probed by the CBI, including the sexual assault case of 2 women seen in a viral video being paraded naked to Assam. It had asked the Chief Justice of the Guwahati High Court to nominate 1 or more judicial officers to deal with them. The apex court had passed a slew of directions on judicial procedures, including virtual examinations of victims and witnesses by courts, saying they have been issued at the present stage, bearing in mind the overall environment in Manipur and the need for ensuring a fair process of criminal justice administrations. Both sides, cookies and matters have been heard. There have been victims in valleys and in hills. It will be difficult for people who suffer in babies to travel to hills, and the other way around. We are not on who suffered more, just a practical difficulty, the CGI has said, adding the top court will pass orders which will be fair to both sides. Prior to this, the central government had ordered a CBI probe into several cases of ethnic violence in Manipur. Manipur plunged into a frenzy of violence in May 2023 over a High Court order directing the state government to consider including the non-tribal Métis community in the list of scheduled tribes. This order led to rampant ethnic clashes. More than 160 people have been killed and several hundred injured since ethnic violence first broke out in the state on May 3rd, when a tribal solidarity march was organized in the hill districts to protest against the majority Métis community's demand for scheduled tribe status. The central forces conducted operations at various hotspots in Churachandpur district, Manipur, where they seized numerous sophisticated weapons which includes AK-47 rifles, AK-47 Ghatak, INSAS rifles, Excalibur. Manipur Police Control Room had reported that results from preliminary verification shows that the seized weapons were those looted from the police station. One AK-47 rifle, one magazine, one AK-47 Ghatak along with one magazine, and one INSAS Excalibur along with one magazine were seized in certain hotspot area of the district. During this Métis Kuki conflict in the state, around 6,000 weapons have been looted from the security forces, and 1,500 weapons have been recovered so far, while the remaining 4,500 are still yet to be recovered. 50 weapons have been recovered from El Khunumpai under Churachandpur district by the Assam Rifles as per information received from intelligence sources. The recovered weapons have been handed over to the Manipur police. Manipur Chief Minister Ambiren Singh virtually inaugurates the Imphal to Ukhrul to Imphal route under the Manipur Heli service yesterday, the 11th of March, at the Chief Minister's Secretariat. Inaugurations of the District Transport Office was also done at 5 districts, namely Perzol, Kakching, Nonay, Kamzong, and Zerbang. The helicopter service and transport service operations were set up so as to ease transportations and mobilizations within the state. The Manipur Heli service was achieved under the 75-25 subsidized scheme of September 2018, and the service had been successfully in operations in Imphal to Moray, Ziribam, and Tamenglong districts. In the past 5 years from 2018 to 2023, the helicopter services had transported 31,163 passengers, which might be emergency relief, rescue operations, and medical emergency evacuations. Union Minister of Home Affairs announced on 1st February 2024 that the Imphal to Lamka to Imphal, Imphal to Moray to Imphal, and Imphal to Laroching to Imphal route will be charged a subsidized fare of Rs 2,000. Imphal to Ziribam, Ziribam to Imphal, and Imphal to Tamenglong, Tamenglong to Imphal routes will be charged a subsidized fare of Rs 2,500 per one-way journey.
Singi lam sidai da nong sing tar ko matam da even nong sing tar dra baw da ngarang na han hongsang gi da landslide to rokna lambi da indharak na to na ngang am lei tri mi adagi lambi si akhoi gi sing si am soft soil loi ba adagi forest mangdhar ko sin maram or ga landslide ko magi mo thok ko sin sa thok sa sin da yam na bera lei ba duna home ministry da koi tak na dana lakoni Manipur gi hill gi District headquarters katana major hilly areas in si heli service ne cover to bina by ado kaini na koi 2000 mamangi keno dagi koi function to ho khre 2018 dagi koi function to ho khre andaki sidai I appreciate
The rice supplied by the government to the poorer section of the society through NFSA and PMGKAY were reported to not have reached the deserving citizens and households but sold off by the agents without distributing it to the concerned consumers. NFSA and PMGKAY rice was also reported to be sold openly in shops in Lamka district under NFSA. The government has supplied rice for the poorer section of the society for January 2024 to 2028, but these rice had never reached them and were sold in the black market by the agents or concerned authorities or even confiscated by the UGs. The rice were sold with rupees 2,200 per 50 kg and 1,800 to 2,000 for the smaller rice bags weighing less than 50 kg. NFSA cardholder also reported that the rice they received through the NFSA schemes didn't amount to even 3 kg, and they have never received the rightful amount of rice they are supposed to get as per the schemes. The cardholder expressed their difficulty due to the ongoing conflict and prayed that it would be helpful if the concerned authorities distributed the rightful amount of rice. Under PMGKAY, the following persons can benefit: AAY cardholders, PHS cardholders, widow above the age of 60, differently able persons, downtrodden section of society, BPL families, and HIV patients. It is the largest food security schemes in the country. Under the theme Food for All, Nutrition for All, the government will supply rice for the state for 5 years starting from 2024 to 2028. The ration card holders had seldom received the rice they were supposed to get. The Lamka Consumers Club looked into the matter, and on 23rd September 2023, they met an order saying NFSA rice to be delivered truthfully to the rightful consumers, and in related to that, they had restrict exporting rice at the godowns at Tualnom and headquarter van without any releasing orders. The LLCC further requests the public to not illegally sold NFSA rice for their own benefits, and if any shop is caught selling NFSA rice, befitting actions will be taken against such shop owners. The Zomi Students Federation's ZSF writes to the governor of Manipur, Anusuya Uki, and requests her to halt recruitment process which have exacerbated discrimination against the Zhou ethnic tribes. In its letter, the ZSF states the ethnic Zhou people living in a system of administrations that is dominated by the majority Meitei community have been subjected to the worst form of discriminations for decades. The discrimination to which we have been subjected has only exacerbated since the beginning of the state-sponsored ethnic violence. Various blatant violations of our constitutional rights have been taking place, such as violations of our constitutional right to life, our right to freedom of speech and expression, to name a few. In this context, the recent announcements of recruitment results under various government departments to the near, if not complete, exclusions of Zhou candidates is yet another example of the discriminations to which we have been subjected, and stands as yet another justification for our demand for separate administrations SA. In this regard, a case in point is the recently conducted recruitment process or examinations and recent declared results of the Public Health Engineering Department, PHED, Section Officer Grades 1 and 2 recruitment, while the only examination center in any of the Hill District was in Apathy. The recruitment process was initiated and completed, and in the results declared on the 8th of March 2024, the 29 ST results were devoid of any Zhou candidates. The later further says the entire recruitment process and subsequent results constitute an immense violations of our fundamental right to equality of opportunity in matters of public recruitment. Article 16. ZSF seeks legal remedy to end the discriminations, and having consulted legal experts, is in the process of initiating legal proceedings, and as such, demands an immediate halt to all recruitment processes. The judge SF appealed to the authorities higher than the state government to intervene in the matter and prevent the state government from discriminating against one section of citizens of India in favor of another. The Mizoram government has suspended a teacher for allegedly leaking the social science question paper of the Class 10 board examinations, a state minister told the assembly on Monday. The minister said that the teacher had provided specific students with suggestions before the exam held on March 8. As per India Today Northeast, after receiving complaints about the similarity between the questions and the social science paper and those suggested by the teacher from the government-run Mizo High School, the Mizoram Board of School Education (MBSE) immediately launched an investigation. Education Minister Dr. Vanlal Lana said. The MBSE questioned several individuals, including the president of the Mizoram Secondary School Teachers Association (MISSTA), the principal of Mizo High School, some students, and the suspected teacher. It was discovered that the teacher, who was part of a moderation team responsible for filtering question papers, had admitted to his misconduct. The minister said he confessed to providing board exam questions as suggestions to some academically weaker students during a special class, and these students had noted down the suggested questions in their notebooks, which served as evidence, Vanlal Thana said. On further investigations, it was learned that the suggested questions were not widely circulated, as the special class was attended by a few students, and all class 10 of students of Mizo High School did not receive the suggestion, the minister said. Vanlal Thana said the accused was suspended on Sunday for his misconduct, and a first information report (FIR) was submitted to police stations on the same day. The minister said the examination committee convened a meeting on Monday to decide further action on the subject. He said examinations for all remaining subjects will continue as per schedule. The incident sparked anger among students and parents who raised complaints on various social media platforms. The government of the People's Republic of Naga, GPRN, has issued a directive addressing the alarming demands made by the United National Liberation Front, UNLF Bombay Group. As per the Accrual Times, the directive issued by the Kilo Kilonser and conveyed through its secretary to the GPRN calls for immediate action to prevent any illegal activities by factions or groups within southern Nagaland. The UNLF Bombay has reportedly been demanding a significant 10% from every department operating in the southern Nagaland region. This demand has raised serious concern within the government, prompting swift action to curb such activities, say GPRN. The GPRN directive comes in the aftermath of a recent peace agreement between the Indian government and the United National Liberation Front, Bombay Group, which has stirred further controversy and opposition from the NSCN. Around 600 cadres of UNLF Bombay, including their acting chairman, general secretary, and leaders, were given a warm welcome by Manipur government in December 2023. The NSCN on March 8, 2024, has said it is responsible for protecting the rights and well-being of the Nagas and preserving the territorial integrity of Nagaland, has viewed the UNLF's presence with suspicion. The organization sees its primary duty as safeguarding its people against external threats and ensuring a stable and secure environment for the Naga people. Prime Minister Narendra Modi, along with delegates from more than 30 countries, witnessed the tri-service exercise Bharat Shakti in Pokhran, Rajasthan on Tuesday. Indian Army Chief General Manoj Pandey on Tuesday welcomed all the people who came to witness the tri-service exercise. Key equipment and weapon systems participating in the exercise include T-90 IM tanks, Dhanush and Sarangun systems, Akash weapon system, logistic drones, robotic moles, advanced light helicopter ALH, and an array of unmanned aerial vehicles among others, from Indian Army showing the advanced ground warfare and aerial surveillance capabilities. Indian Navy is showcasing naval anti-ship missiles, autonomous cargo-carrying aerial vehicles, and expandable aerial targets, highlighting maritime strength and technological sophistication. The Pinaka is a multiple rocket launcher produced in India, designed by the Defense Research and Development Organization specifically for the Indian Army. It boasts a maximum range of 40 km for its Mark iterations and 60 km for the enhanced Mark I version. This system has the capability to unleash a salvo of 12 high-explosive rockets within a span of 44 seconds. Indian Navy is showcasing naval anti-ship missiles, autonomous cargo-carrying aerial vehicles, and expandable aerial targets, highlighting maritime strength and technological sophistication. The PJT-531 BFSR-SR, developed by DRDO, provides short-range battlefield surveillance, deployed extensively along the line of control. It aids in preventing infiltration. Over 1,100 units serve the Indian Army, with additional orders from foreign countries. With 1,400 units employed against moving targets, development for foliage penetration capability is underway. The Swati, or Very Beneficent Radar, is a mobile phased array system developed by India to detect and track incoming artillery and rocket fire. Jointly developed by DRDOs, LRDE and BEL. It determines the point of origin for counter-battery fire. BEL fabricates subsystem based on DRDO, designs for integrations by LRDE. The Indian Army has augmented its bridging capacity with the inductions of the 46-meter modular bridge, developed by DRDO and produced by L. Larsen and Toubro. This system, valued at Rs 2,585 crore, offers a mechanically launched single-span assault bridge, facilitating swift development and retrieval, crucial for overcoming obstacles like canals and ditches in mechanized operations. The Arjun, developed by DRDO's CBRDE, entered Indian Army service in 2004, equipped with a 120mm rifled main gun and indigenous ammunition. Powered by a 1,400 HP MTU engine, it boasts a top speed of 70 km per hour. Comparative trials against D-90 tanks showcase its superior accuracy and mobility. Its fire control system has also been integrated into domestically built D-90 tanks. We thank you for joining till the end. That's all from us tonight.